Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Clay Township Board. It is Tuesday, April 25th, 2017. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mary, would you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So I'm Paul Boland, Chairman of the Board this year, and I'm joined by our Secretary Mary Eckert and Member Matt Snyder. And we're also here with Trustee Callahan and Assistant Trustee Spellbring and our Township Attorney. And I'm sorry, but I've completely forgotten your name.
Ted Knowlton.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
Yes, I know you are. So, we do not have any recognition of outstanding citizen tonight by the board and trustee. Our first order of business is an approval of minutes from our March 28th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, do we need to discuss?
Well, you weren't at that meeting.
I was not at the meeting, but I seconded it. Is that all right?
I think
Yeah.
that's fine with me. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion will carry. We have no public comments tonight. We have an action item, which is resolution number 2017-04-25-01, major budget transfers in the rainy day fund, number 0061. Trustee Callahan has asked that we withdraw this action item from our agenda. I'll need a motion to do so.
Second.
All right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion is withdrawn, the action item is withdrawn. Would you like to explain why, Doug, or is it just not even
Yeah,
necessary?
it's, I really don't think that we need the money right now. We're gonna try to work through the year and try to pay everything that we wanted to get done. If we do, it'll be later in the year. So, I mean, with what we're doing, we've got the funds to do it. Okay, I'm looking down the road here. So I will come back to you if I need to do this out of the fund, the rainy day fund.
Okay.
Okay?
Chairman Boland, we move information item B, acceptance of the 2017 office guidelines up to an action item.
All right. And do we have a second for that motion?
Second.
So all those in favor of moving information item B, which is 2017 office guidelines, into the action items, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. So then, the other action item now is the 2017 office guidelines, Doug.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done anything with these office guidelines, and my staff and I have put together some of the new guidelines that we need to have in place with your approval. I've had the attorneys look it all over, make sure that we're fine with what we're doing. I do have the township attorney here, Mr. Knowlton, to talk about anything. If you have a question, and hopefully you've seen the letter in the back, the attorney's letter on the switching the staff from, hourly. Actually, they've always been salaried employees. But we're kind of putting all this stuff in paper, so if anybody has a question, we have it in black and white. Is there anything you need to add?
No, I think that.
Go ahead, Mr. Knowlton.
I think that pretty well covers it. A lot of these policies are kind of boilerplate things, right? FMLA, overtime provisions, things like that, which wouldn't necessarily need board approval, but it's still nice to have these policies in here. Now, because the board does set the remuneration for all township employees, anything that does directly affect their compensation needs to be approved by the board. So, for example, there's two main changes. Number one, the township is proposing to go to a paid time off format where there's no separation between vacation and sick time. You just get the lump paid time off. And then at a rate of 16 hours per month. You can use them in hour increments and things like that. Anything that's not used can be carried over. Prior to that, there was a comp time that the township utilized, which was any hours you worked over, you could put into a comp bank and then carry that over as well. We decided that was kind of could be a large liability, not knowing how many hours a week you have and You know, if someone's here 5-10 years, all of a sudden, you know, when they retire, you've got to pay them out 30 grand. So we got rid of the comp time carryover in that bank, and instead moved to a flex time sort of scenario where if someone needs to work, say for a meeting tonight, you know, Debbie's here for 12 hours today, she can leave early on Friday. You're able to flex it within, I believe it's 2 weeks of the extra time you worked, and with approval of the trustee.
Within the same pay period.
I'm sorry.
Within
During
the
this,
same
yes,
pay period.
yeah.
Okay, let me interrupt because I'm a little confused here. Because as a salaried employee, they don't have a minimum hour, maximum. So in other words, with Debbie being here tonight, she gets nothing more than her regular salary.
That's
Right.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
I just want to make sure.
Yes, but
that's
because the
correct.
salary is based on 32 hours.
Right.
The policy is still to allow employees who end up working over that to flex during that same pay period.
In lieu of overtime.
In lieu of overtime. There is no overtime.
Right.
They are FLSA exempt as well, so they won't receive FLSA overtime or otherwise.
Okay. So, I mean, we've obviously have enormous trust in Debbie and Doug anyway, but this is just putting it in writing so that there is never going to be any confusion, hopefully, and we're all above board and in good concert with all the guidelines.
That's correct.
Okay. Do you have any comments?
No, I think it's explained very well. Thank
Okay.
you.
Then we need a motion for approval.
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there any additional discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion will carry 3-0. Our other information item is the Carmel Clay Fire Department EMS collections for the first quarter of 2017. Doug?
Yeah, and as you guys remember, last couple months ago, we in our meeting we talked about write-offs and everything, and that was a little confusing. And you know, write-offs, it's still, if you have to write it off, it's still part of the bill, okay? And when we talked about write-offs, I didn't that night. So what I wanted to go back and tell you that when they talk about write-offs, Medicare and Medicaid only allows so much, okay? Even if our bill was $400, they will only pay $200. So that other $200 is actually written off, and that was part that we do not count toward our percentage of what we collect, okay? So I know that when you guys gave me a funny look, that it looks like it's only 50%, but when you take the Medicare and Medicaid, because that's so heavy, when you take that and the part, they only guaranteed so much, then anything above that is, they write it off. You can't bill. So that's what I was trying to get at that night. I didn't explain it very well to you guys. So that's why when you look at what we do, it's actually 90% after you take the Medicare, Medicaid max off. Okay, you reduce that. Then whatever we get, then anything up to that $200 we get, that's 100%, not the $400.
What are the highlighted?
Pardon me?
Why are two of the numbers highlighted?
No reason. I think what happened is when I printed those off, I had hit those and highlighted them, but there's no reason. There's no reason
Okay.
for that. So anyway, I apologize for not explaining that more in detail to you guys, because I know a couple of you had a question like, wait a minute, if you write it off, you still didn't get the money. But that's just the Medicare and Medicaid. Okay, if you take that away, what they would allow.
Okay.
Okay?
Any other questions?
We're billing hugely more than all the past years. Like we're 3 months in and we're half of the entire year. Like what, I know there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
But do you know a reason why that is?
I know the run load is excessive, and I know that right now, this station here is this ambulance down here is the top running ambulance in the township. I know their day's busy 24/7. All we hear is sirens around here. But I would say that part of it is rebilling on some things that that they didn't bill before. There's constantly changes in, and if they don't take you to the hospital, like diabetics a lot of times, will call you just for the dextrose. Okay, and they know the fire department will do that. So there is a billing for that now too. So it's things like that that they run across.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you. We'll move on to financial questions from the board. Mary?
I don't have any.
I have none, sir.
Neither do I. Board comments. Mary?
Well, I'm glad to be back. The circumstances weren't that pleasant when you have to bury your mother, but she's where she should be right now. She was going to be 98. It's nice to come back to New Digs. Look at this. It's wonderful. And I think the lobby looks great, too, with the big thing out of the middle and the board in there. I'm taking a good look, so good job.
I wasn't the interior designer. My two office staff designed that. I mean, that was their baby. You don't want me to do an interior design, I can tell you that. So,
Well,
but Debbie and Donna did wonders. They came up with this, the black curtains, and we just thought maybe this might be able to give us a lot more room. Plus, since the exits are now on the north and south side,
I noticed that.
nobody's going to be blocked if they have to get out of here. Okay, so.
Good job.
Looks really good.
I have nothing.
I have no comments. Doug, do you have anything?
One comment I'd like to make is just to make everybody out there aware, I will be running again for trustee in May of 2018 for another 4 years. So I just, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to call me here. I've had a lot of people come in, stop in, talk to me, call me, saying, just come on, one more time. So with the help of my office staff, and as long as I have them behind me and getting those kind of comments, I thought maybe it's a good idea to run one more time. So I want to make everybody aware of that.
All right. Good. That hat is in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other announcements?
So are all three of you? No, I'm teasing.
May
It's
I,
nice to have you on us, Doug. Thank you.
may I have a motion for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:15. Thank you all very much.